Classical ballet, I think, will be relevant forever because of the fact that music and dance really nourish the soul. And classical ballet, above everything, because of the discipline, because of the tradition, it's passed down from one human being to another. It's the teacher to the student, and each teacher passes down their tradition to the next level. It's something that we as human beings really need in our lives. We need that relationship between one another. And I think classical ballet will always be around because it's needed. I am Rosine Bena, and I am the artistic director of Sierra Nevada Ballet. I began dancing when I was born because both my parents were ballet dancers, and so they said that I danced when I walked. I was always seeing ballet because my parents were dancers, and I was surrounded by ballet dancers. In fact, when I was 3, I went to the milkman and said, "Are you a ballet dancer?" He thought I was really strange, but anyway, but I formally started to train when I was late because I started when I was 7 and my mother said I didn't have the discipline, so she wouldn't let me. And then I begged and finally I really formally started training when I was 11. And I was a professional ballet dancer by the time I was 16. So I went pretty quick. I had a 28-year stage career. And I started pretty well with the Washington Ballet. And I worked my way up, and then I auditioned for the Stuttgart Ballet, which was at that time considered one of the greatest ballet companies in the world, under John Cranko. I auditioned at Lincoln Center Met when the company was on tour, and I was the first American female to be taken into the Stuttgart Ballet, but I was only 17 years old. I graduated from high school, and 2 weeks later, I was in the Stuttgart Ballet. And it was pretty terribly frightening, because all the dancers were older and very experienced, and it was quite traumatic. And after being in the company for 2 weeks, we went on tour of the United States. And I had to know the whole repertory, and it was pretty hairy. But from there, I went up, and I became, I worked my way up through corps, solo, principal dancer. I danced with about 250 different partners. I had a great career. We started the Reno Ballet in 1995 and 96, and then my partner was in an accident, and so we did not continue the company. Then when I got married and I moved to Nevada, I decided to try again, and the board elected to call it Sierra Nevada Ballet because they felt they didn't want to limit it to just Reno. So we started Sierra Nevada Ballet, and it was very, very difficult, as you can imagine, because we had nothing to start with. And we got a board together of enthusiastic people. And basically we started with a couple of professional dancers and a lot of students. In today's society, there isn't a lot of things that teach children the way ballet does. The art of ballet, it's an art form because in the beginning, in the 1500s, it was put together so that man could come closer to God. That's why it's still considered an art form. Whereas a lot of other things nowadays are not very artistic, and they don't give children that opportunity. It's the discipline, it's the work ethic, it's the beautiful music, the movement, and the communication that happens without words that helps. So every time I think, oh, this is so much work and I'm not going to do this anymore, then I see young people coming up and I think, I have to still do this. It's very important.